So we're very excited to have you join tonight, this afternoon, depending on where you are. And we'll begin in just a moment. Carlos, you give the signal when you're ready.
I think that to make sure that we don't waste more time, we can give a start. Let me again, one more time, welcome you all for our today's session, insider session, very special one, because today we also have the company of Will, who will introduce himself in a minute. However, the today's session is going to be about what it is actually like to spend your summer in Germany together with Constructor University, specifically at our summer camps. So let me give you the word, Will, so that you can introduce yourself.
Sure, sure. And welcome again, everyone. For those of you that didn't hear earlier, my name is Will, and I'm on the recruitment and admissions team. It's a great pleasure to welcome everybody. I am a native of New York, if you could not tell that from the accent already. But like many of you, I aspired to study and travel in my own career, and I moved to Europe about 17 years ago. So um, very well, very happy to welcome all of you. And I've been working in higher education most of my career. For those of you who might be in Canada or US and watching, that would be I would be working with you should you choose to make an application someday. But of course, we have a team of people around the world. We have people east and west of campus and also in the south. So regardless of where home might be for you, we do have a representative that can be available to you nearby. And Carlos, maybe a quick word of introduction if you'd like.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much. I'm Carlos. I work with Constructor Talent School, which we take care of anything high school student related before you jump into Will's hands. So if you are looking for online courses or summer opportunities, as well as, let's say, competitions that we have going on as well, all of that it's on our desk, and we make sure that you have an amazing uh, pre-introduction to the college life experience. And today we will be talking about the summer camp, which is the main and one of our biggest projects that we have with Constructor University to make sure that you have a great first taste into the university life. Today we will be talking about an overview of Constructor University as well, which would make this session a very special one because we don't normally get to have that opportunity, and we will know about what makes Constructor University unique, as well as some of the academic portfolio that we have to offer once you jump into the undergraduate side. And on the summer camp side, we will get to know about what is actually like you as a student will get the opportunity to experience when you join us in Bremen this summer, how you can personalize your academic experience, and what is outside of the classroom, because it's not only about the classes, but also about what's happening outside of the classroom. And more important than that, it's also how you can secure your spot with the best offer possible. And of course, we will end up with some special round of questions in case that you have some. And if not, well, we might have done our job during this session. So then I pass the word to you, William.
Great. Thank you so much. Many of you probably have discovered us because you heard of Constructor University, but it's always important to set the stage for the conversation about where we are and where we're inviting you to join. So Constructor is now celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. We are, by many standards, a young university, and at the same time, we have great traditions already. We began in a collaboration between a German public university and an American private university. It was Rice University, Texas, and the University of Bremen Public University that helped to found Constructor. And you'll learn during the presentation that we're actually on a very historic campus. We're a private university, but we're much more accessible, let's say, financially than many private universities that are Anglophone. We are German accredited, so we have the full German accreditation, which means when students graduate from Constructor, they can go on to a master's in German in a public university. They can go on to a master's in any part of the world, whether it's UK, Canada, US, or any other place in Europe or beyond, fully recognized accreditation. And we are English speaking, as you have all discovered. The campus was founded to serve international students. And so from day one, the intention was to teach people German, but not to expect people to teach German before they come. And so over the history of the campus, even just 25 years, we have grown a reputation to be the top private university in Germany. And I mentioned we're a young university. The Times higher education ranking came out just a couple of years ago and placed us in the top 10% of young universities. And they look for innovation. They look for universities doing something new or unique or different in their market. So here in Germany, we are quite unique. Many of the bachelor programs are in German, and we're able to provide bachelor experience all in English. And in terms of our size, just to give you a feeling, a sense of the size of campus, we have just over now 2,000 students. We hit that mark, I think, at the end of the last year with a good intake this fall. We have 3 different academic schools. I'll walk through them very quickly. A large number of researchers, because that includes PhD students and doctoral students. And also we have a great group of professors, full-time professors conducting research in a variety of areas of expertise. And our student body, as I mentioned, we are designed to serve international students. So we have students this year coming from 121, technically, nationalities, coming from East and West, as I mentioned earlier. A good portion of those students coming from Central Eastern Europe, but of course, around the world, you see represented here. It gets a little harder to find us from further away, but we do have members from the admissions and recruiting team that travel throughout the world to promote the university as well. So hopefully we'll come to your neighborhood maybe during your final year of high school. And before I turn it over to Carlos, I do want to also mention a word about Bremen, because this is our home, and this would be your home for those 12 or 13 days that you're with us at the university for a summer camp. Bremen's a city of about 500,000 people, but the region is bigger. It's about 2.5 million. And we're not far from Hamburg, which is another 4 million people. And as you can see from the images, we have a very impressive historic town. It's really charming. But in addition, we have lots of companies and industry, and Bremen is considered a top 10 industrial city in Germany. So everything from engineering to science, from social services and so on. There's a lot of opportunities to connect students to industry. And at the university, we are a full university in Germany. So we have bachelor programs, master and PhD. We can go right to the next slide to go quicker. And the bachelor program itself, you'll discover, is interdisciplinary. So because we're a small school, the professors from different disciplines work together. They conduct research together. And that's how we built the programs, because many of the careers you might be thinking about are actually requiring some interdisciplinary knowledge. That's the nature of a career. They are international because of our student population, but also because of the professors coming from different parts of the world, and they are research driven. And I'll go through very quickly the 3 slides about the different colleges that we have. I won't go through all of the majors, but we have a School of Computer Science and Computer Engineering that has both bachelor and master programs. You'll recognize some of these disciplines even in the topics that are covered in the summer camp. Next slide, you'll see we also have the School of Business, Social and Decision Sciences. Sorry about the slide there. But that's both undergrad and graduate. And you'll see, again, some of these topics pop up in the summer camp. Finally, we have a School of Science. And I like to say it's roughly a third, and a third of our students in each of these schools. The School of Social and Decision Sciences, because of the business school, is slightly bigger, and the School of Computer Science is slightly bigger than the School of Science. But all of the students in the School of Science also get to work in labs, and you'll see that the range of topics and disciplines from natural sciences all the way through to life sciences is available. And I'll turn it over now to Carlos to talk about the summer camp and how that connects to all of the disciplines.
Thank you so much for that insightful introduction to Constructor University. And William mentioned something really important, which is that we will try our best to make sure that you have the Constructor University experience during our 12-day program. We designed this program for high school students age 16 to 18 years old that are in the middle towards the end of high school, trying to find out what is actually university life, and also to get that first stage to international universities, or that are still deciding which area to jump in or discovering their interests as they make their way to college. The dates for the summer camp of 2026 are from July 24th to August 4th, and it's entirely in English. We ask students to feel comfortable with the English language to make sure that they succeed not only inside the classroom but also outside of it. Outside of the academic aspect, which we will jump into in a bit, we also have fun excursions to the city of Bremen and the city of Hamburg as well. But we try to jump into the more connecting to the working side with amazing company visits where students get a guided tour of companies like Mercedes-Benz and Airbus, which provides students with a vision of what also William mentioned of how Bremen is a very powerful city when it comes to outside companies having big factories in nearby the university. We have 9+ courses to choose from, which we will give you an overview in a bit, but also you have the opportunity of learning the German language. That it's an optional opportunity, but for those who are interested in immersing themselves into the German culture or thinking in the future of studying in German, this might be a nice practice for you. The price of the summer camp is 4,600 euros and it's an all-inclusive fee. With this, I mean that it includes all the meals, accommodation, tuition, activities, all the in-country transportation. So let's say airport pickups, airport drop-off, the transportation to the company visits and excursions, as well as any in-between transportation that we might need for any of the activities on the curriculum of the summer camp are included. The deadline for application is May 1st. However, don't panic. We still have enough time for you to go through your application process, get your result, and secure your spot before the beginning of the summer camp. When it comes to the summer courses for this year, we have 9 courses in the different areas of natural sciences, computational sciences, and business and social and decision sciences. So if you're interested in chemistry, biology, or physics, you might go for the courses on natural sciences. If you are more into the engineering, computational science, or want in the future to work in something related to robotics as well, the computational science and engineering are your courses. But if you're more in the, let's say, uh, societal sciences, business, let's say that you want to create your own business or you're thinking about entrepreneurship in some kind of way or innovation even, then the last area is yours. How can you personalize your academic experience, you may ask? Well, in the summer camp, you have the opportunity of choosing 2 out of these 9 courses. There is no limit for you to choose from. So let's say that if you're interested in the sciences, but in business as well, you can take 1 course from each section. If you're only interested in discovering what the computational and engineering sciences have to offer, then you can choose 2 out of those that are the most appealing to you. So any combination that it might be, you can check out the full curriculum by scanning the QR code on the screen, and then you will get the preliminary, that's a long word, syllabi for each course and how you can combine these learnings as well. On top of this, if you're interested in getting a start into the German life or getting immersed in the culture and you're interested in the German language, you can jump into these classes from levels of A1.1 to B1. So it doesn't matter which level you have, you can jump into the right level for you. Now, why summer camp at Constructor University? It's 12 days where you will have the opportunity of not only experimenting what it is to be a university student, but also to be in an international campus. Something that drives Constructor University, and I can vouch for it as a Constructor University alumni, it's their international environment. When I was a student, I got to meet students from all over the world, and this is the summer camp is not the limit. We try to make sure that the students get to interact with as many nationalities as possible, but also to give you the opportunity to showcase yours. So we have several activities that will allow you to earn all of this information from directly from the students. We also allow you to create your own space when it comes to the courses, challenge yourself academically, but also make friends and memories that will get you through a lot of the times that come after the summer camp. Another important aspect for the parents here in this recording is that we have a very secure and green campus. Our campus is completely guarded, and we have also our mentor and teaching assistant team, which will support us throughout the whole 12 days. The whole team stays on campus with us, so we have 24/7 support for all of the participants to ensure that if they need anything, we are right there for them. And what better than experiencing 12 days in the middle of summer in a campus that is as green as the background that William has right now. You can see it right there. It's a beautiful experience for all of the students to who are considering or might be considering Constructor University for the future. So how does the schedule look like? How do you spend your 12 days in this beautiful a lifetime summer camp experience? Where the first day is arrival day to ensure that you get accommodated into your room, meet your roommate, get to know other of the students that are on the campus, as well as getting an introduction of where the places are and all of the important things that you need to ensure that the rest of the days go smoothly. Then from day 2 onwards, we start with the full schedule. From day 2 to 11, we have everything, classes, excursions, as well as all of the activities in the evening. As you can see in the bottom, the daily routine schedule, including the meals and in between activities to make sure that you have a nice balance throughout this whole 12-day experience. Some of the activities that we have outside of the classroom are sports activities. We like to have sports tournaments because all of our students seem to love also the different competitional, safe competitional environment which sports provide. And with the World Cup coming along, I am sure that many of the students would like to have a mini World Cup represented as well in the summer camp. We also have activities for you to get to know each other. We like to call them icebreakers, or also some more chill activities for the ones that prefer to stay indoors or just chat with good music or just be around all of their friends. So a whole variety of activities that we have for you during the summer camp, as well as some free time that you get to call your parents and also tell them about the amazing time that you're having, but also do some of the extra class work or talk with your teaching assistants and make sure that you get the most out of these 12 days. On the company visits that I was mentioning before, we will have this year the opportunity of visiting Mercedes-Benz, Airbus Space, and as well as an international AI center that is located in Bremen. Each student will have the opportunity of selecting one of these company visits, the one that speaks the most to them, and they will get to get a guided tour on the facilities in Bremen. Then I can hand the word to you, William, for the last bits.
Sure. And Carlos, thank you. He's already mentioned the campus itself. The university is about 70 acres of land. I don't know how many football fields this is, but you can fit many football fields across the campus. What you see here on the screen is just one of the quads, one of the main green areas of campus, but there are several around the university. And as I mentioned, it's a historic campus. You would be living essentially just outside of the city of Bremen. We're about 17 minutes, I think, by train. And here's a few of the photos of campus itself from the outside and inside. I think one of them is a lounge in the dorm. One of them's the library. Of course, we have to show the library. The summer program, of course, is an academic learning experience, but it's not exams and grades the way you would probably anticipate being at the university level, but rather a chance to dive in, to really learn and to learn how that's applied in the real world. How does this work toward your career and so on? And you'll also see in the upper left, that's just kind of at the campus entrance. We do have campus security. It's a small little image, but the campus security car is there. I know parents are always asking, do you have security 24/7? And we do. We also have staff living in the residence halls and a lot of advisors and support. So in terms of university life, it's a very safe and comfortable place to call home, away from home, whether you're here with us for a couple of weeks or whether you come for a full degree program. And it's great, Carlos, that you mentioned your alumni, because for anyone who's asking about your experiences, I'm sure you'll be able to a little bit too at the end. Here is a look, a bird's eye view of the campus map. And as you see on the left-hand side, there's different elements of campus. We are, as I said, about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the train, outside of the city of Bremen. That's the central train station. So it's really accessible, and it's a short walk from the campus to the local train station to get into town. We have all that you might expect in terms of the typical kind of university li residential life experience. So we have dormitories. Each dormitory has a cafeteria. We have the academic buildings with also research labs, and you'll see here a great image of some of the research labs. We have housing as well, some social areas, a cafe, this kind of thing. Our residential colleges, there's four. I don't know which one you lived in, Carlos, but there you maybe you'll share later. But there's different residences, and each of them, there you go. In Nordmetal. Each of them has a different vibe and feel, but everyone is essentially welcome on campus, regardless of what residence you live in. There's some friendly competition at the very beginning of the university experience during orientation and integration weeks. We have an orientation program before the upper class students return, and then an integration program even after the semester begins, just to make sure you're all connected, getting involved, meeting friends, getting to know what's expected and all the rules of the game and so on. But we have a lot of competitions between the dorms as well, which makes it a lot of fun. So if you're living in one of the dorms and you want to meet friends for a meal in their cafeteria, you can also use your meal plan at their dorm, which is great. This is just to show some quick images of some of the rooms, the basic room layouts. As you can anticipate, they're not that big, but you'll be spending most of your time outside of the room anyway, in either some of the shared spaces or off at the library or at the gym or whatever it might be, at different events on campus. Next slide. Oh, maybe I'll also mention quickly that we do have both single room options and double room options. So of course, when students do come to campus, there are some choices. One thing I want to mention before we jump into Q&A at the end, I do want to mention that one of the things that makes construction really unique is that we approach student development in a very holistic way. We consider you, we want to be sure that you're happy, healthy, safe, and comfortable, and engaged in both your academic experience, but also your extracurricular experience, your outside of the classroom experience. And that's essentially what summer camp is doing. It's giving you an academic orientation and a career orientation, but also giving you the chance to meet friends from around the world, to really connect and to grow personally as well as professionally. And you'll see that the university is really intentional about the way that we support students, whether it's through intercultural activities, whether it's the orientation program. We have a community engagement teams to make sure that everybody gets involved in something. And many of the students will get involved even in activities in Bremen itself. So as you learn more German and you get through your first or second year of the university, you start to integrate even to the city of Bremen more and more, which is really cool. And of course, for parents, there are health services that's required, and everyone has health insurance at the university. All of those kinds of things we have. As I mentioned earlier, in the residences, we have staff living in the dorms as well. So there's always someone to go to when there's an issue, a question, or if there's a problem that arises, there's always somebody to support you. And the next slide. Let's see what comes up next. I can't remember. Here's just a photo of some of those student volunteers and peer mentors. We have them across the campus, both at orientation and in the integration program.
Yeah, maybe I can also add to this that
Please.
our team of the summer camps, the majority also comes from this picture that you see on the screen. I can easily locate several that have already been part of our team on past summers. Like, for example, Hasim right here in the front. We've also had several students from CRUB because we lived in the CRUB office last year. And the whole point of having these students be part of our team is what William mentioned, to make sure that they recreate this university experience to you in these 12 days, to give you support and to also be there for you whenever needed. And from here, I can also jump into how can you secure or how can you be part of summer camp at Constructor University. Whereas first of all is the age requirement. We ask students to be between the ages of 16 to 18 years old to ensure that the age circle within the students it's pretty tight so that they can have a lot of more options for socialization. We ask students to have B2 English level or higher to ensure that you succeed in the academics as well and the socializing aspect. Before you submit the application, you need to have in hand a picture of a pictured ID. So this can be your driver's license if you have one, your personal ID, your passport, or anything that includes a picture, your name, and the date of birth. And all of this can be a picture, a scan. As long as you submit this, it should be fine. A motivational statement, we ask for you to tell us in 300 words, why do you want to be part of the summer camp? How is this experience going to help you discover what you want to explore in the future? But also, what is one thing that you are more excited to do during the summer with us? To apply, you have to head into our application portal. There's no application fee, sorry, so it's free to apply. You can submit it anytime right after this session. Just scan the QR code, and while you are signing up in our application platform, make sure to select term summer 2026 and degree summer camp. This will allow you to open the correct application in the application portal. There's just a few questions about contact details as well as high school information for you to also select your courses and let us know if you want to have German classes, your motivational statement, as well as an open question if you have anything that you would like us to know, anything that you will need us to take into consideration. And then within 1 or 2 weeks, you will get your results. Every Monday, we share our results for all of the students. But in the case that you're really excited and you want us to make sure that you get your results as soon as possible, shoot us an email and then we will try our best to make sure that to support you because we know that it's closer to the deadline of application. And some of you might come from across the globe. So to make sure that you have enough time for those visa applications, we can help you. It's important also to mention right here that after the summer camp it's over, you will get a certificate of participation of achievement if you complete all the courses very, very successfully. You will get an achievement certificate directly from our chief learning officer at Constructor University, at Constructor Talent School. And these can be used to support your application for future studies as well as to have in your CV. It will be, of course, wonderful to have. Again, deadline May 1st for the ones that are still not with an application. And if you already have an application, but you haven't submitted it yet, make sure to check into the application portal and hit that submit button so that we can secure your application. And as said earlier on the uh, invitation for this session, you all get 100 euros off of the summer camp price, which means that your final price will be 4,500 euros if you use the code summer_close_friends. And this is valid until May 15th. So make sure to use this code as soon as possible, and then we will make sure to apply this special offer at the moment that you get admitted, and then you can enjoy the best possible offer for joining us today. As a thank you for joining us today. If you need more details, our website is right there on the lower left corner together with our email. But also, if you want to see some of more of the behind the scenes or all of the things that the past students have to say in video format or more like creative content, let's say it like that, head over to our Instagram, constructor.school. And there we have all of the things that you might need for an easy scroll and to make sure that you get all of the information needed as well. And with that, thank you so much for joining us today. And we're going to open now the floor for questions. I know there's been some conversation also in the chat, and I'll make sure to check it out right now as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Carlos. This was terrific. It was great that you mentioned uh, the part about the funding, the extra 100 euros discount for those who attended today. Please keep in mind that the application itself for the summer camp doesn't have a fee, right? The application to make the application, right, Carlos?
That is correct. There is
Okay.
no application fee. So you can submit your application without any commitment. So just make sure to complete it at the corresponding documentation, and then we will review the application and send you the results. And then you can decide to join us this summer in Bremen.
And you have to forgive me, I can't remember if you've answered the question already. But we have some students that might be flying a pretty big distance if they came from, let's say, Middle East, from across the Atlantic, from Asia, or even Sub-Saharan Africa. If they're making a really long trip, They may be coming to Bremen, they've flown overnight, and then they get to the airport, they don't speak German. How does everybody manage?
There's no problem. We have already have some experience under our belt. We have several different shuttles according to
Okay.
your arrival time. So
That's
we
great.
make sure to collect this arrival time from the students before, like a month before the summer camp, or even constantly check until once you have the updated version of it to make sure that there is a person from our team waiting for you in the Bremen airport or in the Bremen Central Station if you're traveling within Europe and you arrive by train to make sure that they guide you to the campus. And from there onwards, we will make sure to have several people guide you to all of the different places that we have to offer during these 12 days.
Amazing. That's perfect. Thank you. I know parents are always asking. This is one of the questions that comes up when I've done a couple of events on the summer camp was related to just the arrivals coming for the first time, some of them coming for the first time to Europe or coming from the first time not speaking the local language. Of course, we're very lucky in Germany because there's a high level of English spoken in so many places that you can always find someone to connect, right? Um, and you mentioned in the presentation also that students can dive into German either if they've never had a German class before, they can take the A1 level and that's the beginner, or if they've taken German, they can place into a higher level and choose to kind of challenge themselves, right?
That's correct. Students are allowed to either practice or learn from zero their German. Or if you want to improve your skills, or if you want to get the skill, then we can add this to your curriculum to make sure that we have a specific time. You will get an almost an hour and 25 minutes of class every day with the German professor from the university that join us in the summer to make sure that you develop this skill during those 12 days. So you get the academic part plus an almost intensive course of German that you get to practice, learn, and then come back home with an extra skill on how to introduce yourself in German if you don't know already.
Brilliant. That goes a long way when you join a new
Yes.
culture and you're able to introduce yourself and then at the end say, "Do you mind if we switch to English?" Because then they bend over backwards to help you in English, right?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
literally my story in
Yeah.
Germany.
That's mine in France for sure.
Yeah.
They prefer if you can say a few words in French and then jump in. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. I can't remember. I think we answered most of the questions that were in the
Yes.
chat already, and I'm trying to think of any other questions that come up often. One of the questions that comes up in general at the university is related to making a decision about your major, and I get this so often at college fairs or university fairs where students say, I'm really good in this subject. My parents want me to pursue that, but I'm also interested in and then their secondary area. One of the nice things about our curriculum at Constructor is that we do allow combinations of what we call the major and a minor. And many of the programs have this possible. There's a couple of exceptions. Some of the majors are so intense that you can't really squeeze in 3 years for a bachelor, a minor. But people ask about this all the time. And I think that's the extra advantage of the summer camp is that you're going to have an opportunity to kind of feel what studying this subject will be like and learning about the different career options and some of the interdisciplinary options. You might decide you want to major in one and minor in the other. And maybe you already had that idea in mind. You maybe want to major in a science field or computer science and minor in business. And by the end of the summer camp, you might flip your mind or vice versa. And that's the other advantage. And some of the students last year uh, have gone on to make their university applications. And their university essay actually talks about this process that they went through over the summer camp, their international experience on campus, their career discernment, if that's also one of those long words, a career discernment, choosing the path that they might want to pursue. And that's all possible as well, which is really cool. I also learned a fun fact from our marketing director. I don't know if Andrea told you, but apparently the rocket that just went up around the moon and back, there were some parts of that that were made in Bremen area because Airbus is nearby and Airbus does aerospace, not just airplanes. They also do satellite technology. And the supply chain for all of these kinds of very high-tech aeronautical and aerospace engineering are global supply chains. So there may be parts coming from Taiwan and parts coming from the US, from all over the world. And it turns out that Bremen actually contributed to that, which is really cool. Nice fun fact.
That's great. And with that fun fact, let me also remind that we will have the opportunity of visiting Airbus Space. So that's an super interesting thing that we get to have access to these amazing factories around Bremen and we get to show it to our participants. So if you're interested in their special sector, you can choose this company visit to be part of your summer camp experience. Or if you're more into the automotor, is that correct? The word I think is auto something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yes,
automotive
correctly.
industry. Yeah.
We will get to visit the Mercedes-Benz factory where we have been able to see already the assembly lines of the different commercial cars that come out of Bremen to the world. And last but not least, for those interested in the AI or robotics aspects, Bremen is also on top of the
Hmm.
innovation aspect, and we'll get to tour one of the centers that work on that specific area and the laboratories and everything. I saw one more question in there. Can students be dropped directly at the school by the parents? Of course. If you have already the possibility of being in Bremen and you have access to either you want to come by train or by car as well, we can the doors are always welcome. We'll be happy to welcome you, and if you want to join for one of the campus tours and also get to discover the campus, talk to somebody from the summer camp team, again, you're more than welcome on the arrival day to join your kid and join us in the fun, I will say.
Absolutely. That's great.
Yes, I also don't
I'm
see
looking to see if
more
there's any last
questions.
questions in the chat.
Yes.
Maybe quickly, something else to mention is that if you're interested in psychology or international relations, for example, some of the majors that we have at the university that maybe initially it sounds like, well, Mercedes-Benz or Airbus might not be relevant for me if I'm interested in psychology. Surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, many of these huge global companies, they do hire graduates from psychology because they have diversity initiatives. They have programs where they're working on cultural integration across the company. They're working on uh, sometimes even marketing or advertising at some of these organizations. Internal communications, sometimes the psychology skills are actually really critical. So regardless of whether you're interested directly in engineering or not, some of these company visits could be quite interesting because they will still hire finance people. They will hire people in human resources. They will hire people in advertising or in international relations. They all have international relations departments working with government. So some very interesting ways to engage with employers, future employers, let's say. And some of these companies, of course, they participate on a regular basis at our career fair every year because they're the biggest employers in Bremen area. So some of them already have interns and graduates from our university working at the company or organization. And let's see if we have any last questions. Maybe that may be the last question. So if anyone has a burning issue, please type it now. Don't hesitate to give us one last question if we can help you out with something that's on your mind. Of course, in terms of if you've already registered, if you're watching this and you've already registered for summer camp, you've already committed, you're already ready to come to join us this summer in Bremen, we'll be communicating with you in the weeks and months ahead between now and July. As Carlos mentioned, if you need a visa, sometimes it's just the tourist visa, but still to walk you through whatever paperwork you might need. If there's any questions about what do I pack, we get this question for bachelor students all the time over the summer because they don't know what to bring. But this kind of stuff is easy, and we will always be able to support you in that respect. So, yeah, that's that's my last comment. And Carlos, do you have anything
Yes,
else?
well, as you said, also the we also try to make sure to prepare the students for before coming. So we will have several sessions, several introduction sections, sessions on these specific questions that you're mentioning. What do I pack? How do I arrive to campus if I'm coming with my parents? Or to get to know the other participants as well as the team, we will have several online sessions that are not mandatory but encouraged for the participants coming to join, so that you can already get the excitement going and also get to know, see a familiar face. So when you arrive, you might see like, oh, that's my mentor. Oh, that's Carlos. Oh, that's Emily. That were mentioning people from my team. But super excited that you were all able to join. And for those watching, as William said, if you need more details, just make sure to email us at summer@constructor.university, or even if it's easier for you, to DM us on Instagram, because you have it already there and you see one of our posts. Just make sure to send us a message. We check our communication daily to make sure that we give you the up-to-date information on the summer camp. And yeah, looking forward to welcoming many of you to the campus in Bremen this summer, and possibly as well in the future as Constructor University students.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And that's it from Bremen. Wishing you all the best. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world. And from wherever you're watching, we hope to see you on campus again soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
And maybe we can stop the recording there. Thank you so much for